Hi, I'm Anita Burns, and welcome to the Holistic Spirituality series of channeled guidance and wisdom from Light-Beings Johar and Simon. This is part 1 on how to let go and let God and let your divine self run the show. Johar likes to call this letting the Tao take the reins. If you're new here, I'm a deep trance channel and have been since the 1980s. But I've been on a spiritual journey my whole life. These videos are transcribed at the request of Johar and Simon from the channelings they've done through me since we started doing the recording sessions in the year 2000. When I began this project, both Johar and Simon, in their infinite wisdom, chimed in on the transcriptions, adding some new information to a few of the sessions. Now, there's more about Johar and Simon and about me in the channel's notes and on my website, anitaburns.info. So relax and enjoy. How to let go and let God, or let the Tao take the reins. Part 1. What does let go and let God actually mean? This video was recorded in 2017 and expanded in 2023. Let go and let God, or as we prefer to say, let the Tao take the reins, is a common meme in the spiritual and esoteric communities. It is almost a mantra in some circles. Some spiritual seekers think they have already let go and let God, but soon find out that it was an illusion when their lives didn't improve, or they were still triggered by the same things and trapped by the same feelings they thought they had dissolved. Letting go is not about shoving your emotions into the background of your mind, or about denial or self-control. It is not about blame or shoving the responsibilities of life onto others. So you can say you've let go, but really letting go and letting the Tao take the reins of your life is deep, definitive, and freeing, all the way in every molecule of your being. The proof is in the fact that when you really let go, your life changes for the better. You let go of needless stress, fears, and other emotions and beliefs that kept you chained to your conditioned personality self-mindset. As we've said so many times, you are only renting the molecules in your physical body for the time that it's animated by you, the divine, eternal being. Letting go is a valuable tool to help you become awake and aware of your own divine nature. This awakening happens gradually over many incarnations into the many different bodies and delayed because you become tied to the wheel of karma. Lifetime after lifetime, you are blind and deaf to who you actually are, while you, as divine eternal beings, grow and mature into self-awareness with each physical embodiment. When the divine you, sometimes we call this your source, is awake and aware enough, you feel the calling of the restrictions and chains of the beliefs and emotional ties that have bound you for so long. You seek spiritual solace, understanding, explanations, and ways to live a life with more harmony, peace, and self-awareness, core strength, and expansion of your spiritual self. You might become more sensitive to the subtle energies that intertwine all life. Seek spiritual teachers, organizations, and methods that promise awakening and empowering. This can be a confusing time as family, friends, and society seem to want to keep you trapped in business as usual, and you feel caught and pulled in wanting to heed the call of your soul, but trapped in obligations, responsibilities, beliefs, fear, guilt, and more. This is the real Armageddon in your sacred texts. The divine you has grown up and is rebelling against the prison of your physical mind that has controlled it for so long, for so many lifetimes, for so many centuries. It is seeking freedom, truth, clarity, compassionate living, and meaning in life. It cries out for the personality partnership to let go and let the Tao take the reins. The divine you and the physical personality must work side by side instead of the personality keeping its job as supreme boss in charge of your life. Still though, when you have let the Tao take the reins through your awakened soul, you still do much of the same things that are needed to navigate in the physical world. This is beautifully put in an old saying from your Eastern philosophies that asks, what do you do before enlightenment? You chop wood and carry water. What do you do after enlightenment? You chop wood and carry water. The physical consciousness is the realm of the physical personality self. It helps you decide mundane, physical life things, such as food, shelter, clothing, how to make a living in a world ruled by monetary needs, friends, family, duties, obligations, responsibilities, physical health and such. That's a big job, and your personality self is good at these things. It is also fearful and concerned with survival of the physical being. It gets complicated with a tangled web of emotions and beliefs that your personality self has both consciously and unconsciously constructed for physical survival. In both obvious and subtle ways, survival of the physical is important because it is what your true divine self has chosen for its home and its means for awakening to the true nature of existence. So, your source taking the dominant role is not a complicated task, but it can be met with a lot of resistance. It takes diligence and self-awareness to accomplish. The good news is that there is no time limit, but you can incarnate and incarnate and incarnate until you achieve full enlightenment of your true nature. But letting go is the most important step to take on your spiritual journey. Without this step, your divine source will remain an elusive, out there, intangible mystery that you never personally experience or only experienced in a few moments, a few fleeting moments through psychedelics or deep meditations, metaphysical and spiritual practices, and such. You can, as some have, experience a sense of bliss, ecstasy, mind-blowing expansion that brings visions and fleeting glimpses of nirvana, agape, and more. But you can't live in these states because you have not rooted this awareness in your physical life. You have not let go of what is keeping you trapped in personality, self-thinking, and life experience. You have not discovered how to partner with your physical self instead of having it rule your life with its survival agenda into its time-limited experience of existence. And we emphasize you cannot let go until you, the real eternal you, is mature and awake enough to do so. Another scenario we will mention briefly but reserve for another channeling is spontaneous Kundalini arising or forced Kundalini arising. This is a dramatic, sudden event that can be disorienting and powerful. It takes from there time to adjust your mind and body around a new way of thinking, feeling, and living. It often comes with a time of what is termed divine madness. Most likely, if you are listening to this or reading these words, you feel ready to let go. You are ready to embrace and remember that you are a part of the all, the source, the God, the Tao. You are ready to embrace the truth. All living beings are like molecules in the great body of the source. But you started your journey in a state of unawareness, asleep, if you want to think of it as such. You didn't know you were you, and that you came from the undifferentiated body of the Tao. the cosmic consciousness that is seeking unlimited self-awareness. You incubate, develop, and grow in the womb of physical embodiments. We've been asked why. Why do we have to be in the physical world in order to awaken to the fact that we are more than physical beings? The answer is in many of your sacred texts, but little understood because the physical existence cannot comprehend the answer. So it externalizes its divine nature into gods and goddesses, religions, and philosophies that put your divinity out there. The physical cannot own its divine power because it has none. So it invents external sources to help it be. You might have heard the saying, as above, so below. It is referring to the truth that everything is physics. Everything is forces, energy molecules, and so on. The body of the Tao is infinite, permeates everything and is everything. That includes your divine self and your physical self. Physical, material life all have one thing in common, from the tiniest microbe to the most complex of bodies. This thing in common is a singular desire to survive. For it is hardwired to know that it is finite. Even in times of great personal sacrifice, the survival drive is there. This is a complex topic, and we will speak in more detail on this in future channelings. But for now, we return to the topic of this channeling, how to let go and let the Tao take the reins. You may ask, when am I ready for this awakening? To put it into symbolic terms relating to the physical world, which might be easier to grasp, you, as a divine being, have been described in one way as being like electricity flowing into light bulbs. It's all the same powerful electricity, but the amount of illumination depends on the wattage of the bulb, symbolically, your physical body and brain. When you're encased in a physical body, your soul age, which is how many times you've been embodied into human physical bodies, your soul ray, which is the overall filter for your physical body to express through, and overleaf filters, which are more nuanced and temporary filters in place for each lifetime. Your spiritual clarity depends on these things to either allow or hinder you from living in the fullness of your source. When you are ready to let go and let the Tao, you do not surrender yourself to an outside force, but surrender your physical, mental, and emotional self to your eternal greater self. The physical you takes care of your physical and societal needs, and your divine source takes on the dominant role in matters greater than the physical. You let go of that which stands in your way of complete enlightenment and union with the divine all. Many awakened souls take on the role of helping others prepare and be ready for their own awakening. Some concern themselves with keeping the younger souls from annihilating themselves or doing harm to each other and the planet. There are many roles from the enlightened source still embodied in the physical to take on. So what does it really mean to let go? It can mean many things, but here's what it does not require. Letting go does not mean you must leave civilization and live as a recluse or an ascetic, although that's an option available if you want. Letting go does not mean having to leave behind loved ones, unless that's something you want to do. Letting go does not mean having to live in poverty or off the charity of others. Letting go is simply the realization of your true nature, the source. Letting go is the knowing that the source is the only permanent reality and that all things come from that source, including you. Living as source does not mean giving up the comforts of physical life. After letting go of fear of loss, you find that you can fully enjoy the things that make physical life fulfilling, safe, relatively speaking, and comfortable. such as fine food, homes, cars, airplanes, computers, jewelry, art, and so on. You as divine source doesn't mean you have to live without those things. It does mean that you let go of being attached to things, beliefs, and emotions. When you've come to a readiness to let go, you can have prosperity and enjoy all the beauties and wonders of the material existence without fear of loss. But they are to be enjoyed, respected, and appreciated, not to be hoarded and coveted. When you truly understand that you are merely passing through this material existence and that your purpose here is to learn and grow into living from your divine source and to help others do the same, you will no longer place great importance on material things. Material things are tools and means to fulfill a purpose. You can have a safe, comfortable home and all the material goods that go with it. You can enjoy art and music as expressions of the source within, even if the art expresses personal angst, fears, and such. You can enjoy fine food. The old saying that your body is your divine temple is true. Treat it well. Emotions are a part of the interplay between the body that seeks only survival and the divine self that only wants agape, joy, bliss, and unity with the source. Beauty in all forms, from the planet's natural grandeur to the beauty of architecture, furniture, clothing, adornment for the body, and more, can be expressed as the source. Most humans on the planet as of now are young souls and experience the world through limited means, like adolescents do. They haven't had enough incarnations to experience and fully know what is for their highest good. They need guidance and discipline. They cling to spiritual childhood in some ways and overestimate their maturity in others. As we talked about in other channelings, soul ages, rays, and overly filters mold their expression through the physical. Those who have reached full maturity are called old souls. They incarnate into bodies that can be the right fit for the transition into living life differently as they go through the process to let go and let the Tao take the reins. Very ancient souls who have made the transition and are truly awake and aware of their divine nature reincarnate into bodies as masters, adepts, saints, and avatars. While in spirit they have a choice to either incarnate back into the physical world or stay in the spirit realm and help humans in more subtle ways to grow and develop to a point where they can completely let go. Always remember that you are in the appropriate place of spiritual awakening for you, and you are growing and learning each moment. As old souls, you can let go and let the Tao take the reins. This is very different from younger souls who have no tools to do that in any great and lasting way. Younger souls can, and mostly do, become decent, fair, loving people, but they are still stuck with being imprisoned in the physical body and mind of limitation. They need more life experience through incarnations before their divine source is self-aware enough to take the wheel and demand equal rights in guiding your physical existence. Until then, if you are spiritually minded, the Tao, the God, is an external thing, to be worshipped and obeyed through a set of rules set down by others through church, temple, coven, and such. There is an experience of reward and punishment depending on your behavior. So, since you are listening to or reading this, chances are good that you are an old soul and ready to integrate into your physical life with your divine source. That is the end of part 1. Part 2 is about how. There are so many gifted people in the world who offer services and help in a lot of ways addressing body, mind, and spirit, and you can find many of them at holisticregistry.com. If you're a reader, If you're a healer or a spiritual practitioner of just about any kind, or if you're looking for a reliable source for practitioners, go to the Holistic Registry site and take a look at the wonderful members of this group of gifted people who are available for private services and more. That's holisticregistry.com.